All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. This is for episode 12. Now it is called In Dreams. Alright, and possible spoiler warning if you guys have not seen this week's episode yet for Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. This is for episode 12, In Dreams. And it sounds like we do actually have a few more episodes of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 coming up. The wiki, it looks like they did get done more episodes, so that is good news for all of us. And one of the episodes coming up in 2 episodes, episode 14, is called Mother. So that one sounds kind of interesting. We'll definitely have to do a video on that one soon. Maybe tomorrow or the next few days, giving our thoughts on that one because it does sound good. And it sounds like they did get 16 episodes done of this season, which is great. That means that season 6... it's a full season, but it's over because of the shutdowns and everything. It's over a longer period of time than it usually would have been. It's like it's taken a year later to release, but at least it'll be a 16-episode season, and we'll get to see a few more episodes of this back half here, and it's going to end up being, a really great season. Maybe the best they've ever done. Right up there probably with season 3. So this episode, In Dreams. So this one, I'll say major spoiler for this one because it does sort of include a character death, I want to say. And so this one's a bit of a tricky episode to kind of watch through. This is called In Dreams. So this is a dream type episode. Now usually I don't like dream episodes. There have been, lots of series that are long running, they have dream episodes at some point, a lot of times. If you watch, for example, Z Nation did a dream episode, which was a horrendous episode. It was basically like a zombie apocalypse nightmare recurring over and over and over again for the whole episode. It was like torture to watch. It was like the worst episode I've ever seen of anything. So I was wondering, like at the beginning of this one, because it was pretty obvious that you were seeing in this dream state that Grace is in, a huge time skip into the future, and we get the point at which she says it too in her mind's eye is 16 years based on Athena's age. So as we know and as we've seen, Grace has been pregnant, and in this episode it comes to time when she's basically ready to deliver. And so she pretty much does in the episode, and a lot of the beginning of the episode, a lot of the episode is her in this dream state of kind of getting to see her 16-year-old daughter, because it ends up being a girl, when she's kind of coming of age, and sort of this futuristic, almost like a heaven or a future. The trees are really beautiful. You can see blossoms and everything else, and I guess you say flowers, that kind of thing, sort of. It's very heavenly-esque. There's parts where she kind of goes into the light and this whole kind of thing. And this is sort of something that's synonymous with, crossing over, going over to the other side. Surprisingly, it's something that we haven't actually seen done that often in Walking Dead. I can only think of there's maybe the Tyrese episode or something like that where there's like the hallucinations and all that stuff. If you guys remember, that's going way back. But we haven't really seen many episodes like this. Maybe something like when Rick's on the horseback, he's kind of fading in and out. So it does make sense that you would have characters or people experience this kind of thing. There are different, interpretations of near-death experiences, what people see, people who do die and then are sometimes resuscitated with, whatever medical means, or kind of come back at some point unexpectedly. And so sometimes they don't report anything, just blackness, whatever, what have you, and blank time. But there are times when they do report, and the common report is sort of like that they will go to, in their mind's eye anyway, will kind of go to go to hospice, or they maybe go to into a place that's familiar, like their home or something like this, and they'll be greeted by family, maybe lost loved ones, this kind of thing, spirit kind of thing, and you'll have a lot of a light, and then there's the idea of going into the light, right? You go into the light, cross over, that kind of thing. So they sort of play on that in this episode, and eventually Grace does kind of go into the light, but it's got some pretty good twists in it, because in that it seemed like what we were going to see in this episode, as I was watching it through, it seemed pretty obvious to me that, okay, we're seeing a dream episode, but there are things happening in current time that have put her into this state, like maybe she's got a concussion or something, or she's kind of in and out of consciousness. She can hear Morgan's voice. She's got kind of the tape recorder which she's listening to, so she's kind of coming in and out, and you have Morgan in the current timeline actually fighting off a few members that are attacking him of the cult. The end is the beginning. For this group with the one guy who kind of was like the lead until Teddy returned in the previous episode. So what we end up finding out is that they're actually kind of being attacked by them. Grace has sort of gone under here, and she's kind of in and out of consciousness, while at the same time she's close to going into labor here, and Morgan kind of fights them off. Eventually here, he ends up having to give away the key that he has, which goes to I believe it's a submarine. Some people have said that they think maybe it's a nuclear submarine, so maybe the idea is the end is the beginning. This crazy, Teddy's crazy cult group will somehow maybe launch a nuke from the sub or something like this, and kind of clear and try to start over above, something like this, which is why they're kind of in their bunker, what have you, whatever. So something like this. So we'll see if maybe that's what they go into here in these upcoming episodes. Somebody left that in a comment for me. I didn't recognize the user count or anything. So it makes sense. So Morgan's in the attack. He fights off the others and everything, and then he beats the one guy off who's Teddy's kind of lead when Teddy's not around, who gave Alicia and the others a tour in that last episode. And so then he comes back, and Morgan ends up handing over the key. And ultimately, in the end of the episode, Grace goes into labor, gives birth, but it ends up, now here's the spoiler warning part, being a stillborn. A very tragic scene at the end, as you have Morgan cries, gives her the baby, and it's dead. We haven't seen any zombie movement of it so far. Not trying to make any jokes or anything. It is a very sad scene and everything like that. But I don't. Maybe they just won't do that at all. I'm not sure. It'd probably be in poor taste, considering this was done in a serious type of way. This isn't like the Dawn of the Dead remake or anything. But so it's a very sad episode. By the time you see it all the way through to the end, and then kind of the final twist, I guess, here, where they finally end up going with it, kind of the opposite of what you think, which is that it isn't that she gives birth and then she dies in labor, what have you, and then the baby lives. It's actually the opposite. The baby dies, and so she's kind of getting this dream state kind of crossover sort of illusion of what the baby's life would be like had it have lived, I suppose, or what it could be like when it's 16, this kind of thing, and everything of the sort in the current timeline. So it's certainly a touching episode. Can I say it's one of the most sad episodes in Walking Dead? Probably is in a lot of ways. There are some really sad episodes of Walking Dead. There are some really touching moments in Walking Dead overall. I'd say this is actually one of them that's pretty brutal, actually. It's difficult for them. It's going to be difficult for them to get characters over in the same way in Fear as they are in the original TV series, because the original TV series has the comics. There's no Grace in the comics that I can think of. There's no equivalent. So you're creating new characters for Fear that don't kind of have that kind of that backing, and you're trying to get an emotional connection with the audience. And I felt like in this one, I mean, they just did that in spades. This was a brutal episode, a tragic episode. I'd be interested to see, I know I have some female subscribers, some that have children, that kind of thing, how you guys would feel. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what your optics look like for this one, how you felt about it after you had watched the episode through. But I guess maybe that would be... maybe for them it'd be a worst nightmare type scenario, because I would think that the worst nightmare for any mother would be the other way from where the episode seems to be going at the beginning, which is that the baby's born, but then she dies. We get to end up seeing the opposite. So maybe is that worse because she ends up surviving, but then the baby dies? Is that worse than the other way around? I would think so for those those protecting drives or nature that mothers would have, right? So it's so I thought it was actually kind of an incredible episode. I'm surprised. I've been shocked and surprised by how good some of these episodes are this year for Fear, because I think they're as good. Some of them are as good as the best stuff in Walking Dead, and this one being this tragic was very sad to watch, and very sad by the end of it through. I guess I won't go too much more into the kind of the dream state stuff that she saw. It was cool to see Old Man Morgan, because like Old Man Rick, it was like Old Man Morgan. He's got like the white hair and stuff. That was cool because that was different. It was just kind of a trip at, nothing is real. It was a trip at sometimes like where are we at? What's happening right now? And like back and forth, and then I'm discombobulated, but then ultimately it surprised me at the end. So when I thought I had it figured out, it wasn't right up until the last minute that it was like, oh shit, really? That's what they're doing? Because I just didn't. They had me in a spot where I was like, okay, I've seen this before. I know what they're going to do. And then they didn't. They went the other way. And I was like, whoa, I did not see that. So the baby doesn't. And then she kind of says that she was seeing in her mind's eye, what maybe the baby would have done at that time, because, connected and everything and all that. And so kind of passed through in some way. Those memories, spiritually maybe somehow passed into her in terms of how you can interpret it. So I thought it was an amazing episode. Definitely the best we've seen for Grace. A Grace focus episode. And so shocking that Fear has been doing these focused episodes, which never used to work for the original Walking Dead. When they would bottle things off and they would try to section it off to certain characters, people always complained. But this season, Fear the Walking Dead has been doing these sectioned off episodes with character spotlights and the intros and everything, and it's just worked for them so well. And this episode is another one of those. So I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. I think it's one of the saddest episodes in all Walking Dead. I hate, at first I was like, oh, I hate dream episodes, right? But then by the time I got to the end, I was like, oh, damn. So maybe I'll go back and watch it again after this one, because it really surprised me. And after doing this for 12 years with you guys, reviewing lots of different series and hundreds, if not thousands of episodes of different series at this point, including so much Walking Dead, it's kind of difficult to surprise me at this point. I kind of see everything coming. And they tricked me. They got me. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh damn. By the end. And I also I was just so sad about it, but I wasn't angry at the way they had done it. It was like, wow, they got me. You know what I mean? Because I did not think that's where they were going with this. So, wow, let me know what you guys think. Perfect episode for me. Definitely something different for Walking Dead. Definitely surprising. And probably one of the better dream type episodes I've seen. Because usually, keep in mind, usually these don't work, I would say, most of the time. Usually dream focus episodes like this are filler. Usually they don't work. This certainly was not filler. Leave the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. Very surprising one. Shocking, tragic, brutal. Maybe the best, what you would expect for Walking Dead kind of to be in a new and unusual, surprising manner. That's saying something after all the episodes they've done of Walking Dead. So amazing stuff. Fear Season 6, continuing to kill it. And leave those comments below, especially from the moms and stuff. See that. And I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev, saying peace later, guys. See you soon.